Hi guys, this is Minerva from McBean Immigration and welcome back to our channel. Today we will be speaking a bit about postgraduate work permit. First of all, what is a postgraduate work permit? Now, the awesome news is that this was implemented by the Canadian government as a means to be an attractive tool for international students so that they would be able to work once they have graduated and completed their studies. Now, what are some of the benefits of a postgraduate work permit? But before I get into that, it's important to note that it is not automatic for all colleges and universities across Canada. They have to be a designated learning institute and be a part of the participating colleges that will allow for postgraduate work permits. Now, with the exception of Quebec, who you can study at the private college and still be able to apply for postgraduate work permits, in other provinces across Canada, that's not the case. All right, so let's dive into some of the benefits of a postgraduate work permit. So, it gives you the ability to head start your career. So after you have graduated, it gives you the ability to move into the working world and be able to work full-time, even though now the government has implemented a temporary plan for students to work more than their 20 hours per week. Before you were limited to 20 hours, but once you have graduated and obtained your postgraduate work permit, you are able to move into a full-time position, right? Another thing to note is that once you have graduated, you have 180 days to apply for your postgraduate work permit. And have to have your official letter of completion and your transcript in order to apply for that postgraduate work permit. But another benefit or a major benefit is that once you have submitted your postgraduate work permit, you do not necessarily need to have that physical document in hand to start to work. You can work immediately and have your job offer immediately once you have submitted your postgraduate work permit and be able to work until a decision is being made by the Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, most commonly known as IRCC. Now, the second thing is that you do not need an LMIA in order to get your job offer or to be able to work. Once you are on a postgraduate work permit, you can work for any employer because it's an open work permit and you do not need that labor market impact assessment, most commonly known as the LMIA, in order to accept a job offer, right? Or to apply for the work permit to go into that position. Now, thirdly, if your long-term goal is to migrate and live permanently in Canada, then the postgraduate work permit will make you favorable under 2 immigration pathways, possibly 3 as well. The main pathway that most graduates take after gaining their postgraduate work permit and working for at least a year in a Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 position, or before it was not A, not 0, not B, those positions are usually professional, supervisory, management, or skilled trades positions. Once you have worked at least a year and having the education in Canada, have done your language proficiency and have gotten any previous education assessed, with a combination of your age, then you are eligible to apply under the Canadian Experience class, most commonly known as the CEC. You will also be eligible, or one may also be eligible on the Federal Skilled Worker Program, which is the most common program that is being done for an all-round draw across the globe, right? For anybody who is interested in migrating to Canada. The third is a provincial nominee program. Many provinces are favorable to international students once you have studied for a particular time. For some provinces, it's 2 years. If you did a postgraduate, 1 year is fine. There are many options for international students under the provincial nominee program. So those are 3 ways that you may possibly be able to migrate to Canada if you are on a postgraduate work permit. Another benefit is that it gives you time to evaluate your options. Now, many students, once they come to Canada, they are, after graduation, are still at a limbo as whether they should stay or whether they should go. So this having the postgraduate work permit, being able to work among other Canadian permanent residents, Canadian citizens, other immigrants, will give you an idea of whether this is something you want to do, or should I just get the work experience from a world-renowned country and return to my home country to showcase those skills that I have learned over the time being in Canada. So it does give you that benefit too, that you have your options open, right? And either way, you stay in Canada, you'll be gaining Canadian experience, and that can be taken anywhere in the world should you decide to go home to your home country or any other country for that matter. So those are some of the benefits of a postgraduate work permit. Now, there are some questions that are commonly asked about a work permit, such as the postgraduate work permit, that is. One of the main questions I see that clients have, once my postgraduate work permit is about to expire or has expired, can I apply for a new work permit or for an extension? So the answer is yes and no. So yes, in the sense that you are eligible if you're working for an employer and they see you as an asset to their organization. However, you have not heard back from IRCC if you had put in a permanent residency application, or I should say have not yet received an invitation to apply for permanent residency, then you are eligible to apply for a work permit, but that will be a different work permit. That would be an LMIA based work permit. And no, because a postgraduate work permit is only eligible once. So once you're given a postgraduate work permit, you cannot extend it, you cannot get a new one, right? A temporary program was put in place for students who postgraduate work permit was expiring between September 2021 to December 2022 could get automatically an 18-month work permit extension, but that is just a temporary measure. But the general rule is that yes, you can apply for a work permit, but it will be an LMIA based work permit. And no, the postgraduate work permit could not be extended. Another question, and this is a follow-up from this question, is whether or not my postgraduate work permit, once I have studied, that is, and gained my postgraduate work permit, can I apply to study again should I not hear back from IRCC by the time my postgraduate work permit has expired? Yes, you can apply to study, but just a follow-up from the previous question is that you will not be able to apply for a second postgraduate work permit, as it is only issued once, right? So never again in your study life will you be able to apply for a postgraduate work permit. Another question, how long does a postgraduate work permit last? Now that is all dependent on the terms of your study. If you did an 8-month study, you will get an 8-month postgraduate work permit. If you did a 1-year study, you will get a 1-year postgraduate work permit. Now, if you did 2 years of study or more, you will be eligible for a 3-year work permit. So that is usually how the postgraduate work permits are usually processed. I hope this information was informative for you, and any questions you may have in regards to this, please do not hesitate to reach out or book your consultancy for further information at McBeanImmigration@gmail.com or call us at 1-888-997-4997. And don't forget to subscribe, like, or leave a comment. Thank you. See you soon.